ESPN sources say, we all like the sources say business, don't we, people? Because sources say, but they're never named. And, for obvious reasons, journalists often cannot name their sources because if they've got a stream of information coming from a particular source, that source sometimes is a leak in one of the camps, right? And they are sometimes legally bound, whereby they can't speak openly. So if a journalist reveals one of their quote unquote sources, it could get that person into trouble, or it could break the trust that they have with the source, and therefore the information will dry up in the future. So I get it, but it does make me smile from time to time when you see sources say. But anyway, in this particular instance, they're saying that the Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua bout could have a record $150 million site fee, which would be split 50-50 between the two fighters. They would net $75 million each, and the rest, several $1 million, will be allocated for expenses, including to pay for undercard fights. Now, bear in mind, people, this is just the site fee. This does not include all of the pay-per-view revenue. I'm assuming that anyway, right? Because you never know, there could be a deal whereby the Saudis, because that's what they're talking about in this particular article, the Saudis demand a cut of the pay-per-view revenue. Who knows? Maybe that's going on. But assuming it isn't, then you've got a site fee of $150 million. Then both guys are getting a cut of the pay-per-view revenue, which is going to be absolutely astronomical. So the amount of money that both guys are going to make from this fight is crazy. Now, you've got Eddie Hearn quoted in this article saying that it's close and there are zero holdups. At the same time, you've got the likes of Derek Chisora. I mean, what would he know about the negotiations for this? Does he have inside sources himself? Maybe he does. But he keeps reiterating this claim that the fight is definitely not going to happen this year. It will happen in 2022. So if Eddie Hearn manages to get this fight made, as I said in a recent video, then he really deserves a lot of credit, because there's loads of people doubting Eddie Hearn here, including the likes of Frank Warren, including John Fury, Tyson's dad, and so on. So he deserves a lot of credit. Now, if there is any holdups, contrary to what Eddie Hearn claims, is it necessarily the fighters? Is it the TV networks? Is it the promoters? A lot of people assume that the fighters are the ones who are the most greedy, and it could be them saying, oh no, we want to wait until crowds come back so we can make extra money. But maybe it isn't the fighters. Maybe it's actually the money men behind them, the promoters, the TV companies. And they feel like they want their pound of flesh. They want the extra money. They want to push it back to the autumn. But as I've said in previous videos, the situation in the world is far too volatile at the moment to start pushing things back, because you really don't know what's around the corner. There's a window of opportunity to do the fight in the summer, even if there's limited crowds. And I say, take that opportunity. I mean, if you really want to have a crowd, take the fight to the States. Just look at what UFC did this weekend. Nice big crowds, right? So if you really want a crowd, do it there. But if you want these huge site fees and whatever, and you're just going to go to whichever location is willing to pay the most up front, then it is what it is. Right? We all would like there to be a crowd, but if there isn't, as long as the fight takes place, that's the main thing. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about sources say record $150 million site fee. I mean, the pay-per-view revenue, you have to imagine that Joshua and Fury could make what? 30 million each or something, $30 million each on a pay-per-view revenue. if the numbers are what people are projecting them to be. So let's say 75 million a piece in terms of the site fee, then another 30 million. So you're talking about maybe 100 million for both guys in this fight based upon these figures. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Come and join me on Patreon and access my weekly no-holds-barred, censorship-free podcast where we lift the lid on a wide range of controversial topics. It's not mainstream friendly, it's not politically correct, but that's the whole point. We dare to stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Hot Topics. You'll gain access to a minimum of 2 hours of exclusive content every single week, including podcasts, videos, interviews, live stream Q&A sessions, as well as my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Not to mention a vast back catalog of hundreds of hours of previous episodes. You can listen via the Patreon app with the option to download in high quality MP3. We've also got a Discord server where you can come and chat and hang out with myself and other members. There's no contract, no commitment, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.